Okay guys, we are going to continue building my dream aquarium, which is this beautiful ADA 120p. This is the largest tank that I've ever owned, also the highest quality tank that I've ever owned. The glasswork is impeccable. Silicone is almost invisible. In the first episode we leveled the cabinet, we added a background to the tank, and we also suspended the light. And of course we did a hardscape. So the hardscape is mostly lava rock and river wood. I'm going for a bit of a low maintenance aquascape this time. I'm currently traveling quite a lot, so I'm not home that much. So I want something that just looks good most of the time, doesn't require too much trimming. That's what we're going for. So today we're going to plant it. We're going to fill up with water, install the filter, install the CO2, and I think that's it. We have got a lot of plants, guys. I got a new box of plants from my sponsor, Danilo Plants. I have a big box here full of old plants. So before this tank was here, I had a Aquascape line 90, so a 90 centimeter tank. That was a contest layout. So I took that down and I saved most of the plants. I had a lot of really nice bulbitis in there. This is Crypt Balancea. And then we have some really nice Anubias as well. So that's definitely what I want to use. And over here I have a small box. So Danilo Plants didn't have everything that I wanted in stock. So I purchased a few more. So I think we should have enough plants. Now, not everything in this box is for the layout behind me. I'm also making a new layout in the studio, so I need to just separate the plants, I guess. Okay, I think I have everything here. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm going for here. I mean, in the foreground, we can't really plant anything, it's just sand. I am still doubting about if I should kind of raise the sand a little bit towards where the lava rocks are. I could make the sand layer a little bit thicker and maybe plant like some really small cryptocoryons in there, so like Crypt Parva. I also have some Crypt Lutea Hobbit, so like really small crypts, just to add a little bit more detail. Not sure about that yet, but we'll see. Then on the lava rocks and the wood, I have two types of moss. I have Java moss and I have giant moss, and I also have a bunch of Anubias. Then higher up, of course, we have the bulbitis, and I also have some trident Java fern. And then we basically have just the substrate left. So all the way in the back we're going to do the Crypt Balancea, and I also have some giant hairgrass or Eleocharis montevidensis. A little bit more in front of that I have different types of Echinodorus. Yeah, so I have the Echinodorus red chameleon, and I also have the green chameleon. So these are not going to be massive, but they'll be good just in front of the Crypt Balancea. Also have some Laganandra mebolii red. Oh, and I also have this one, the Crypt Spiralis red. So this is a beautiful crypt. It grows not as tall as the Balancea, but like 30-40 centimeters high. So I'll just mix this in the background as well. Here we go, most of the plants prepared. We have two different types of mosses. Crypt Spiralis red, trident Java fern, Anubias. This one I'm very excited about, all the two different types of Echinodorus. Because I don't usually use Echinodorus because they're quite big plants, you know. I don't have that many big tanks, but yeah, very excited about this. The giant hairgrass, look how long it is. Very tall already, so it's immediately gonna lay on the water surface, which is super cool. So I think I'm gonna start with the Anubias and the moss. Look at these clumps, absolutely massive. It's so dense as well, it's almost hard to separate, so we might just have to use them whole. I don't know, that looks pretty good. So these of course need to be either glued or like wedged into crevices like that. I'm just gonna loosely spread them out first, see how it looks, and only if I'm 100% certain I will glue them down. Here we go, that's all the Anubias in. Quite a lot. Some of them probably need a little bit of a glue, but I'll do that later when I'm also adding in the bulbitis and the microzorum. Then I can just glue everything at once, you know. So let's move on to the moss. So like I said, we have two different types. This one over here, this one is the Java moss, and this one right here is the giant moss. They'll both look completely different once they start growing underwater. I'm just gonna tear up pieces, mix them up, and just wedge them in all the lava rock gaps. So just a piece of Java moss. There's a nice gap here between the rock and the wood, so I'm just gonna gently push it in there. And especially the Java moss and the giant moss, they quite well adhere to hardscape as well. And not every moss kind of attaches very well, but Java moss and giant moss, they do. here we go. Moss done as well. So mostly in the lower parts of in between the rocks and the wood. I've also added a few tufts here and there. Be careful with that, because if it's so close to the light, it can start growing really fast, and then it's not as low maintenance anymore. Yeah, with this I'm kind of just hoping that the moss will attach itself to the rocks, and then when it starts to grow too big, I can kind of just gently rip it off, you know, and then like small traces of moss will remain on the rock and then will start growing again. That way it should be nice and easy to maintain. Yeah, so basically just created like a little line of the echinodores. Then we can put the balancea behind it and some shorter plants a bit more in front of it. Got this gap right here all the way on the left side. I think that's a good spot for the Laganandra. You don't need that much light. It's a little bit of a shaded area because of the wood, but it should grow a little bit bigger and kind of until this size basically. Then the tissue culture Cryptospiralis red, I'm going to mix that in with the echinodores as well. It is very slow growing, so it'll probably be a while before it reaches about 20-30 centimeters in height. Okay, so sort of in this middle line I still have quite a lot of open space. I think I'm going to fill it up with some of the dwarf Sagittaria. So quite small right now, but this should grow also like 30-40 centimeters in height. So it'll just be some long grasses in between the echinodores and the Cryptospiralis red. And I also have some Vallisneria nana. So it's very similar to the Sagittaria, but the leaves are a little bit smaller, a little bit more narrow. So it'll just be a mix of sizes. Okay, I think it's time to move on to the Bolbitis and the Java ferns. So just like the Anubias, I'm going to start by just placing them in loosely, and then I'll take a step back, see how it looks, see if I like the position, and then I can always make some changes. Because once you start gluing, there's no turning back, you know. So I'm thinking the Java ferns, the Macrosoma trident, a little bit lower, and then the Bolbitis we can do a little bit higher on the wood structure. But that's just the idea. We have to see if it looks good or not. Bolbitis clump's absolutely massive as well. That's nice, will give an instant impact to the layout. Maybe just 3 clumps of Bolbitis, so one over there, and then another one sort of over there if I have a spot for it. I've got a nice small clump. I don't know, maybe just like over here. So I've just been sitting here for a couple of minutes, just kind of taking in the layout, taking in the tank and seeing if I'm happy with everything. And it just put a big smile on my face, like it's looking really good, I'm really happy with it. So for all the epiphytes, I've just put a little bit of gel super glue on the rhizome part. And then yeah, just find the best position. So something like this. And then just press it firmly against the hardscape. Hold it for 20 seconds or so. And then you can let it go. But if I can avoid using glue, I will always try that. So here we have a nice gap between the two rocks. So I can if I just push it in there, it should hold, it shouldn't go anywhere. And then within a few weeks, it will attach itself to the surrounding hardscape. So these are the last 2 plants. We have the Crypt Balancea. These have been in a bucket for more than a week, so they're not in the best condition anymore. I had to remove some leaves as well. And they all kind of started to curl up, which is funny. And then we have the giant hairgrass, so the Montevidensis. So I'm just going to mix these two, kind of in the left third of the tank basically. I don't want to have a full curtain of those 2 plants, so I'll just stop here. Yeah, so mostly in the left corner over here. So this is all going to lay on the water surface, and I'll go in that direction. I think I'll put the outflow over here as well, so it's all flowing that way. I think that will look the best. Well guys, I think we are officially done planting. Just going to give everything a quick spray. And then we can start filling this one up with water. I have to say I'm a little bit nervous about filling it up because it's a big tank. It's a lot of water. It's very heavy as well, but yeah, it should be good. So if you've been watching my saltwater beginner series, you will know that I recently upgraded my RO system. So I now have a much bigger system that produces a lot more reverse osmosis water. I mean, we need 300 liters of water. So with most RO systems, you would have to store it first. Otherwise, it's going to take forever to fill this up, you know. But this one does about, I think, 3.6 liters per minute, I want to say. So it's still going to take a while, but yeah, we don't need to have any storage container for our water, you know. So we have an inline TDS meter as well. So right now it's 0. So this is pure water that's going in here. And once the tank is filled up, I'll add some minerals back in, but more on that later. So it's now 10 to 1. So let's see how long it's going to take to fill up the entire aquarium. So while the tank is filling up, I'm working on the CO2 system and the filter. So the CO2 is now connected. We have a 2 kilogram cylinder, regulator. Then the tubing goes through the cabinet and comes out on the right side over here, nicely done with some suction cups, so it just looks neat. CO2 diffuser, and I'm going to put the outflow on the opposite side over there. Then for the outflow, I'm going to use the Aquarium NeoFlow. Quite like these. The only thing I don't really like is the clamp, the holder. I mean, there's nothing bad about it, but I mean, on a tank of this size and this beautiful tank, I don't want to ruin it with those clamps, you know? So I'm just going to use like normal suction cup, so it looks a little bit nicer. Got some clear hosing as well, so we can install that now. So in case you've never seen this before, you basically get 2 of these acrylic tubes. One you can use for the outflow, the other one for the inflow, or the other way around. So this is the intake, so you can attach it on the short end, you can attach it on the long end. Probably attach it here. So this will be my inflow, and then for the outflow I'm gonna attach it on this side, and then we can add a skimmer as well, so we don't have any surface scum. People always say, but then the surface scum is just gonna get blown into the tank. Yeah, that's true, but eventually it will get picked up by the filter. It's just a little bit more of a discreet option compared to like a large skimmer, like an EHAM skim, for example, you know. Here we go. That's the inflow, that's the outflow, done. And normally you would attach it to the glass with these clamps, just like so, but I'm going to use the suction cups. Okay, 13:20, so we're half an hour in. I would say that's about a third of the way up now. And look what just showed up as well. A fully cycled OUTFLOW Biomaster 850. This was the filter that I had running on the previous setup as well. I kept it running on the bucket with plants and have some fish in there as well, so it's still fully cycled. Okay, so the filter is installed. The outflow is installed as well. And we have a decent water level. So I think we can actually start it. I think it's this one. I need to prime the filter a little bit. I chose this really clear filter tubing, but it's very flexible, almost a bit too flexible. So I need to make sure it's not gonna kink, you know? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. It's a good amount of flop. We are 1 hour in. I would say that's about 65%. Yeah, something like that. A little bit more to go. Fast forward about 4 days later, I want to say. Tank is doing really good, but look what just arrived. Really nice package from Skylight. Yeah, tank is doing good. I mean, it's only been 4 days. I've just kind of like focused on dialing in the CO2. And I think we're good now because we have a nice lime green drop checker. Also already have a new leaf on the Echinodorus Chameleon Red. You can see the red leaf just in the back there. That's already a brand new leaf. Always surprised me how fast those Echinodorus start growing, you know? But yeah, let's have a look at this. I'm very excited. Here we go. So this is the brand new Skylight Focal. So previously on the 90cm display that I had over here, I was using the Skylight Hyperspot, which is kind of like their flagship light. It's very powerful, quite expensive as well. I think the Focal is a little bit more budget friendly. Still powerful though. So this is the F3XL120. Has 80 watts power and almost 7,500 lumens. So still a very powerful light. Okay, now let's see what this thing actually looks like. Here we go. It's very slim. It's only, what, 10 centimeters wide? And that looks good, I like that. Comes with two, I think these are the shades, just to kind of help with the glare, you know. So to put those to the side. I also really like that they add a transparent, you know, kind of transparent cable, you know. The cable from the Chihiro's light is black and it's just, I don't know, it's just a bit of an eyesore. Then I guess it also depends on what color your wall is or the background. I mean, I have a white background, so the black cable really stands out. So we have the light itself, we have the two shades. I'm curious what's in these boxes. Probably just the power brick. Cable and hanging kit, but we don't need that, so that's good. We have a spare one. I still need these two things from the hanging kit though, because they go onto the side of the light over here. I don't know if people are still into ASMR these days, but here you go. So we got a really nice and smooth finish on the exterior of the light. Definitely made from high quality materials. And over here we have a little logo, Skylight, and Focal. So I've attached those little side pieces, whatever you want to call it. And then you just attach them from underneath with little screws. So those are locked in place now. Here's a little view from underneath. It's kind of like a ribbed texture, which is something I've never seen before. And then you can see all the different modules. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, curious to give it a test. We should also see how we're gonna add those shades, see if we need to lock them in place with some screws. So there's another hole over here, there's a hole over here, so I'm guessing they have to be screwed like that. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Nice. I can already tell that it's looking very good. Oh yeah. I feel like we even have a bit of a shimmer going on actually. Nice. Yeah, we definitely have a shimmer. Look at the ceiling. That's quite cool. I didn't expect that. Okay, so let's see if we can set this one up. I'm gonna record my screen. Okay, so open up the Skylight app. And then I think it's that plus on the top screen. QR code, which I got right here. Back to network. So the light already came with the schedule, but I've just removed it just so I can show you guys how to set up. It's actually quite simple. You basically just have to create little dots on my timeline, and then on those dots you can change the color, and you can also change the time. So I want a very, very simple photo period from 1 p.m. until 9 p.m. So let's do that. So the first dot is already set to 1 o'clock, so that's good. So then we just click on the plus button and we create a new dot. And for the new dot, I'm going to select 1:30. So I have a half an hour ramp up. 1:30, here we go. And then we can also choose the color. So right now it's set to a very reddish orangey tone. I want something a little bit more neutral. I'm going to select the price cup. That's like the most neutral thing in my opinion. Then I want a roughly 7 or 8 hour photo period on full power. So I'm going to create another dot, plus button again. This one is going to be 8:30. Here we go. And let's do the same intensity, 50%. Same color as well. Here we go. So now you can already see on the timeline that we have a very simple schedule. Basically, that's it.